Welcome to our deep dive all about the future of hair color. We're going to be looking at the hottest trends predicted to dominate in 2025.
All right.
According to Vanessa Jane's article,
Okay.
the 11 hair color trends that will dominate 2025.
Nice.
This isn't just about picking a shade, it's about how personal style reflects broader cultural and technological shifts.
Yeah, what's so fascinating is that these trends go beyond surface level aesthetics
Hmm.
and offer insights into like our collective psyche.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The first trend is cyberchrome blonde. Think high, shine almost metallic blonde with silver and platinum undertones.
The shade taps into the idea of transhumanism enhancing our physical selves with technology.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a visual representation of the merging of humanity and technology, asking, what does beauty look like in a post-human world?
I can see that. It's like taking inspiration from AI-generated beauty and bringing it to life.
Yeah, and we can't forget the resurgence of 90s platinum blonde.
Cyberchrome blonde blends that nostalgia with a futuristic edge, showing how trends cycle and reemerge in new forms. To really make this color pop, imagine it paired with a bold, contrasting element, like a dark leather jacket.
Okay.
The juxtaposition of textures and tones would create a really striking look.
Next up is copper renaissance. Deep auburn and cinnamon shades are back in a big way. Why do you think that is?
It's interesting that this trend coincides with the rise of like cottagecore and Regency-inspired aesthetics. It's not just about historical accuracy. It's about a yearning for simplicity, connection to nature,
Okay.
and romanticized ideals. Copper, with its warm, earthy tones, embodies that perfectly.
That makes so much sense. It's like romantic realism,
Yeah.
natural warmth with an added touch of drama. Speaking of drama, Expensive Brunette 2.0 is all about lived-in looks.
Right.
But how do you actually achieve this multi-dimensional brunette with subtle caramel and espresso tones?
Expensive Brunette relies on a skillful blend of highlights and lowlights to create depth and dimension. Think of techniques like balayage or foliage, where color is strategically painted onto the hair for a more natural sun-kissed effect. The goal is to create subtle variations within the brunette spectrum, like a symphony of caramel espresso and chocolate tones.
Celebrities like Hailey Bieber and Zendaya are definitely rocking this trend. It's like saying, I woke up like this, but also my hair looks incredibly expensive. Next, we have Nordic Noir, a softer black with hints of blue violet or charcoal.
Nordic Noir is intriguing because it challenges the traditional perception of black hair. Instead of a flat jet black, this shade incorporates cool undertones to create a more dimensional and less harsh look. Think of it like a smoky quartz, dark and mysterious, but with a subtle translucence.
Okay.
To achieve this look, you won't consider a demi-permanent color, or a gloss that adds those cool tones without permanently altering your natural hair color.
It's definitely more forgiving on the complexion and works
Hmm.
beautifully with minimalist or Scandinavian-inspired fashion. Okay, let's talk about pastel looks. Soft, muted pastels like dusty lilacs, baby blues, and mint greens. What sets this apart from the bright, almost neon pastels we've seen in the past?
Pastel luxe is all about subtlety and sophistication. It's a reaction against the overly saturated unicorn-inspired pastels that have been popular in recent years.
Right.
Imagine a watercolor painting soft washes of color that blend seamlessly. This approach to pastels is more wearable and can be incorporated into various styles, from balayage to color melts.
It's a great way to add a touch of whimsy without going full-on fantasy color, and it definitely feels more grown-up and elegant. Let's move on to a classic shade making a comeback, buttery blonde.
Yeah.
What's making this warm golden blonde so popular again?
Buttery blonde signals a shift away from the cool, ashy blondes that have dominated for a while. It's a warmer, more forgiving shade that flatters a wider range of skin tones. Think of honey butter or even champagne. These are the visual cues for this blonde. It's all about achieving that warm, luminous glow.
It feels very classic Hollywood glamour meets sun-kissed California girl, which is a vibe I can definitely get behind. But wouldn't someone with naturally dark hair need to bleach their hair quite a bit to achieve this look?
That's a great point. Achieving buttery blonde from a darker base color can be a multi-step process.
Right.
It often involves lifting the natural pigment with bleach and then toning the hair to achieve the desired shade. It's important to work with a professional stylist who understands the complexities of color correction and can help you achieve the look safely and effectively.
Sound advice. Now for the brunette lovers out there, let's talk about glossy espresso, an ultra-rich, luminous brown.
Glossy espresso celebrates the beauty of natural brunettes. It's about amplifying the richness and depth of brown hair.
Okay.
Think of a freshly brewed cup of espresso, that deep dark brown with a hint of reddish undertones. This look is all about shine and dimension, achieved through techniques like glossing or glazing, which add a layer of color and shine to the hair.
It's like giving your brunette hair a major upgrade. Now, for something truly out of this world, holographic blush, a blend of soft pink lavender and champagne hues that shift in the light. Is this a trend that's actually wearable, or is it more for editorial shoots and runway shows?
That's the challenge, right?
Yeah.
Making something avant-garde feel accessible.
Right.
I think the key to wearing holographic blush is subtlety. It's not about looking like a unicorn. It's about incorporating those iridescent tones in a way that creates an ethereal glow. Think baby lights balayage or even a subtle color melt.
So it's about creating that magical, otherworldly effect without going overboard.
Exactly. It's all about striking that balance between fantasy and reality.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, for those who embrace the dark side, we have deep blueberry, a rich blue-black with cool undertones. How does this differ from just dyeing your hair blue?
Deep blueberry is a sophisticated take on fantasy colors.
Okay.
It's a multidimensional shade that blends deep blue with black to create a mysterious and alluring effect. Think midnight sky or a raven's feather. These are the visual cues for this color. It's a great option for people with naturally dark hair who want to add a touch of vibrancy without going full-on bright blue.
It sounds incredibly striking, especially when it catches the light.
It definitely has a wow factor. And because it's rooted in darker tones, it can be a more wearable and less drastic change compared to lighter or brighter blues.
Next up is sandstone blonde, a soft beige blonde with a mix of warm and cool tones. What makes this blonde stand out?
Sandstone blonde is inspired by the natural beauty of a beach at sunset. Think of a mix of beige sand and pale gold tones that create a soft, sun-kissed look. It's a versatile shade that complements a wide range of skin tones.
It's like bottling up the essence of summer. This trend definitely feels effortless and laid back. Now, the last trend on our list is charcoal violet, a deep charcoal base with violet undertones.
Charcoal violet is straight off the high-fashion runways and brings a luxurious feel to alternative colors.
Oh, nice.
The key to this shade is contrast. You have the depth and mystery of charcoal paired with the unexpected pop of violet. It's a bold statement that requires confidence to pull off.
It sounds incredibly chic and sophisticated, and I imagine it would look stunning on someone with a darker complexion.
Absolutely. Charcoal violet can create a stunning contrast against deeper skin tones, making it a great choice for those who want a look that really stands out.
So there you have it, the 11 hair color trends predicted to dominate in 2025. It's amazing to see how these trends reflect larger social and cultural shifts.
It really is fascinating.
We've covered a lot of ground, but I want to delve a little deeper into some of these trends. We'll be back after a quick break to explore what they reveal about our evolving sense of style and identity. Welcome back. We've explored the technical side of achieving these 2025 hair color trends, but now I want to unpack what they say about us as like a culture.
It's almost as if hair color has become a language, a way to signal our values and aspirations without saying a word.
Exactly. Take quiet luxury, for example. It's not just about expensive clothes.
Yeah.
It's a mindset of understated elegance and quality over quantity.
And we see that reflected in Expensive Brunette 2.0. It's not about flashy highlights. It's about enhancing natural beauty with subtle, sophisticated tones. It's just a discerning taste, someone who values quality and timelessness over fleeting trends.
It's like the hair color equivalent of a perfectly tailored blazer or a timeless leather handbag. On the flip side, we have trends like cyberchrome blonde that feel very much driven by technology and the blurring lines between reality and the digital world.
Yeah, cyberchrome blonde is almost like a visual manifestation of our anxieties and fascinations with technology. It raises questions about the future of beauty and what it means to be human in an increasingly digital age.
It's both exciting and a little unnerving to think about where those lines might blur in the future.
Absolutely. And speaking of blurring lines, let's talk about holographic blush.
Okay.
It's a trend that pushes boundaries and challenges conventional notions of beauty.
I have to admit, when I first saw holographic blush, I thought it was strictly for high fashion editorials or music festivals.
Right.
But you mentioned earlier that the key is subtlety.
Yes. It's about finding that sweet spot between fantasy and reality. Instead of a full head of iridescent hair,
Okay.
think of it as incorporating subtle hints of shimmer and dimension. It's like capturing the essence of a rainbow or an oil slick, that ethereal play of light and color.
So instead of screaming for attention, it whispers a message of individuality and whimsy.
Precisely. Is a way to express your personality without being too literal or over the top.
Then we have the nostalgic trends like buttery blonde and copper renaissance. Do you think they represent a yearning for simpler times?
I think there's an element of that, especially with the resurgence of vintage and retro aesthetics across fashion and design.
Yeah.
There's a sense of comfort and familiarity in those classic, iconic looks.
Buttery blonde instantly evokes images of old Hollywood glamour, while copper renaissance reminds us of fairy tale heroines and romantic period dramas.
Exactly. They tap into our collective memory bank of beauty and offer a sense of escapism from the complexities of modern life.
It's interesting how hair color can act as a bridge between the past, present, and future. We're seeing echoes of past trends reinterpreted for the modern age,
Right.
while simultaneously pushing boundaries and exploring new possibilities.
It speaks to the cyclical nature of trends, but also to our desire to innovate and express ourselves in unique ways.
It's like we're constantly searching for that perfect balance between familiarity and novelty, classic and cutting edge.
And that's what makes exploring these trends so fascinating. They offer a glimpse into our collective psyche and reveal how our desires, anxieties, and values manifest in our aesthetic choices.
Speaking of anxieties, I'm curious about the rise of darker, moodier shades like Nordic Noir and Deep Blueberry. Do you think there's a connection to the current social and political climate?
It's definitely possible. Color can be a powerful form of self-expression, and sometimes we gravitate towards darker hues when we're feeling introspective, rebellious, or even a little bit disillusioned.
Nordic Noir, with its cool, almost melancholic undertones, feels very aligned with the minimalist and introspective aesthetics that have been popular in recent years.
It's a shade that suggests depth and complexity, a sense of mystery and allure. It's like a visual representation of our internal landscapes.
And Deep Blueberry feels like a modern take on goth or punk aesthetics. It's a way to embrace individuality and challenge conventional notions of beauty.
It's about owning your darkness, both literally and figuratively. It's a statement of nonconformity and a celebration of those who dare to be different.
And let's not forget the practicality of darker shades. They tend to be less high maintenance than lighter colors, especially for those with naturally dark hair.
Absolutely. They can be a great option for those who want a low-maintenance look that still makes a statement, and they often grow out more gracefully with less noticeable roots.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about those sun-kissed blondes, sandstone blonde and buttery blonde. They seem to embody a carefree, effortless vibe.
Sandstone blonde, with its blend of warm and cool tones, feels very natural and approachable. It's like the perfect beachy hair color, without being too obvious or overdone.
It's like a subtle reminder of summer vacations and carefree days spent at the beach. And buttery blonde feels very classic and timeless. It's a shade that's always in style regardless of current trends.
Buttery blonde is a color that flatters a wide range of skin tones and can be adapted to various hairstyles. It's a versatile and universally appealing shade.
And then we have charcoal violet, the high fashion wild card. It's such a unique and unexpected combination of colors.
Charcoal violet speaks to our desire to experiment and push boundaries. It's a color that demands attention and exudes confidence. It's not for the faint of heart, but for those who want to make a bold statement.
It's like wearing a piece of art on your head. It's fascinating how hair color can be used to express so many different facets of ourselves. We've explored the cultural and psychological implications of these trends, but I want to hear from you, the listener. What does your chosen hair color say about you?
That's a great question. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
We'll be back after a short break to wrap up our deep dive and leave you with some final thoughts on the future of hair color. Welcome back to our deep dive into the hair color trends of 2025. It's been a fascinating journey exploring the technical aspects, the cultural influences, and even like the psychological implications of these trends.
And we've barely scratched the surface. The beauty of hair color is that it's constantly evolving, reflecting our individual and collective stories.
Right. Thinking back to our discussion of cyberchrome blonde and holographic blush, it makes you wonder what's next. Like, will we see hair colors inspired by bioluminescence or even mood-responsive pigments that change color with our emotions?
Possibilities are endless. As technology advances, we'll likely see even more innovative and boundary-pushing approaches to hair color. Imagine hair that interacts with light in completely new ways, or pigments that can be customized to match our individual DNA.
It's like the line between science fiction and reality is becoming increasingly blurred, especially when it comes to beauty and self-expression.
And that's what makes it so exciting. We're living in a time where we can literally reinvent ourselves through color, experimenting with shades and techniques that were unimaginable just a few years ago.
But even with all these technological advancements, there's something timeless and enduring about the classic shades like buttery blonde and Expensive brunette.
They represent a sense of effortless elegance and sophistication that never goes out of style. They're like the foundation of a well-curated wardrobe. You can build upon them with trendier pieces or keep it simple and let those classic shades shine.
Exactly. And as we discussed, Copper Renaissance taps into our fascination with historical aesthetics and our yearning for romance and simplicity.
It's a color that evokes a sense of warmth and nostalgia, like a comforting embrace from the past. And in a world that's constantly changing, it's nice to have those familiar touchstones.
Speaking of change, the trends we've discussed today are just a snapshot of what's happening in the world of hair color right now. In a year or even 6 months, we'll likely see new trends emerge, influenced by everything from social movements to technological innovations to the ever-changing whims of fashion.
Absolutely. The key takeaway is that hair color is a powerful form of self-expression. It's a way to tell your story, to connect with others who share your aesthetic sensibilities, and to experiment with different facets of your personality.
So whether you're drawn to the futuristic metallics, the romantic coppers, the sophisticated brunettes, or the daring fantasy shades, there's a trend out there for you.
And if you can't find a trend that speaks to you, create your own. The beauty of hair color is that it's a blank canvas, waiting for you to express your unique vision.
That's a great point. Don't be afraid to experiment, to step outside of your comfort zone, and to find the shades and techniques that make you feel confident and beautiful.
Remember, hair color is more than just a superficial choice. It's a reflection of your personality, your mood, your aspirations, and your connection to the world around you.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a final thought. What does your hair color say about you?
We encourage you to explore these trends, to find inspiration in the colors and techniques that resonate with you, and most importantly, to have fun
Until next time, stay curious.
and stay colorful.